Welcome back. We are going into our episode 8 of our Solo World No Mods Update 11. And yes, I do know that Update 12 is in the works, so this may end up being a short one, but because apparently everything's changing in 12, but we'll see. So where we left off last time is we had just finished the kitchen and got housing bonus for it. Yes, I have been in and did a couple things. Not a whole lot. Just chopping down some trees, menial tasks. But we have our little kitchen started. We now have a kitchen value of 6.2. We have a bedroom of 11.5. I also went off and got some more food. That one goes there. That one goes there. That one goes there. And this goes here. Alright, we were building another... We had things queued up in order to try to get carpentry 2 so that we can make the latrine, so we can have the bathroom. Which, speaking of the bathroom, let's take this. We're going to take this, put it in here, take this. The bathroom was going to be back here behind the bedroom. 7, that's over there. 8 is right there. I know, doesn't make much sense, right? A table and a bench inside the bathroom, but we might actually take those out. But for now, we're going to have them in there. We'll take them out when we start getting into pottery and making the bathtub, the sink, and some of the other items for the bathroom as we progress. From there, we wanted to get some more wood, so let's take this 30. Here and here. Close this up. Now it's fully enclosed. We ain't gotta worry about it. There, we got these. So as we said, with housing bonuses, we have 6.5 in the kitchen, which is 3 for the icebox, 2 for the butcher table, and the seating is being retrograded or diminished returns because it's capped at 30% of the rest. So we're only getting 1.5 right now. So if we decided to put in a couple more ice boxes to extend shelf life, we're getting 50% less of the value for each one. So the next one we put in will only be worth 1.5, and the third one would be 0.75. So we will still get 2.25 more by putting in 2 more ice boxes, as we'll see. So as I said, now we're up to 9.43. because by adding those, there we go. You see the new ice boxes there. 50% value for the second, 25%, and it's just 50% less of the previous one. So as I said, 1.5, 0.75. Because of adding those, our primary items increase the value of in the room. So the 30% of that increased from 1.5 to 2.18. So now we are sitting at a value of 53.2. You can quickly see how early on, with no regular no bonus XP like I did off the skills, that the faster you do the increase this house, the more XP you're going to get, as well as trying to balance your diet. So my balanced diet is now only minus 3% because it is very close. We still got low fat, but that's because of the last 24 hours. We haven't really had a change in our last 24 hours. Once we get rid of all those bads that we had and the horribles and anything that is low percentage of food that we ate, all the stuff we ate very early, like the charred beans, the charred taro, the charred fish. Once we get past all those and we only have basically those top 5 listed in our stomach, this balance and tastiness will go up. So, because we got 2 minus 20s and 2 positive 20s. We have 3 minus 10s and 1 positive 10. So that is why our, tastiness has actually gone down, even though it's also based off the number of calories that you've had in that diet. So it's weighted that aspect. And as you read in the italic words at the very bottom, everyone has different tastes determined randomly and discovered by eating. You have one favorite food and one least favorite food. And the favorite food gets you, I forget what percentage it is, but it is a major bonus if you can find it and you eat it at least once a day. I don't remember if it's more than once a day, but it has to be at least once a day. But as we were talking about, our next star, we were going to go Masonry. So now we got Masonry. We need the mason table. And then we can start making things like mortared stone. Millstones for the arastas, or eventually the milling table. This is also to make mortar. This one is from sand, 1 to 3. I have played on servers before that changed this to 1 sand, 1 mortar, because they did not want people using sand to make mortar. They also actually, I think they took this recipe out so that it was stuck to like the wheat and the rice. They primarily wanted to use those recipes because this one is just so overpowered. It always has been. But as you see with this recipe, you see 1 millstone, 30 rocks, 20 wood. So these are now an ingredient that you have to make for various items. And if we look at it, millstone, Erastus and mill recipe. So now the Erastas, when they made this change, are wood, rocks, wood boards, and the millstone. And the millstone takes damage, much like your tools do down here. That millstone will take damage, and you do have to replace it. So that's things that they added. With getting this, we now get the glassworks and the pottery skill books that we can do. And also the advanced geology paper, which is mortared stone. Now, best place for sand is out there in the desert before you get down to sandstone. It's like a couple tiles below the surface, and it's like it's varied in how deep it is, but you get a lot of sand. There are areas that I know I have played where it is at least 5 tiles deep of sand, and I have done a very easy way of digging it out and picking it up and getting it all set and making it easy for you to move it and then bring it back and turn it into mortar the old-fashioned way with the most outrageous recipe. So other than that, we need to start looking at what our next skill is going to be beyond masonry. I am thinking the one we will do is butchery. So anytime we go and decide to actually finally go hunting for meat, we can actually butcher it. So if we're going to research this book, we need culinary basic papers. So the culinary basic papers, there are 3 possibles: fish, meat, and the basic recipe. So if we want to look at that, we can actually do it over here on the table. So our culinaries, we have the basic, which is fried foods, 3 fried foods, and 6 salads. So those salads that we do not like, this is what we can make them for. The culinaries of meat and fish. Where are the basic ones? Here. They take honey because they are dried fish and dried meat. So maybe we'll actually take hunting next. Because with hunting, we can make the fish traps and easily collect fish. So we're going to be looking at getting hunting, butchering as 2 of our next ones. There's nothing else here for quite a while, other than maybe shipwright, but we're not going to worry about shipwright. We're not near a body of water that we need the boat right now. Most of our stuff can be accessed just by running on this map. Cooking, we will not get into baking or cooking just yet, even though that would be better food, because those are going to require a better home. That requires the bricks to make tier 2 or glass, which is pottery and glassworking. So we're going to skip cooking. We're going to skip the rest of the carpentry tree. We might go for basic engineering because we're going to need the power. We're going to need the Erastas. Going to need the rockers. So basic engineering is number 3 in our list of possible next skills. Other than that, we go into looking at the gathering tree, which farming, fertilizer, and milling. Farming might become the next one, but I don't know. It is going to have to be before we do pottery because of the clay mold for the bricks. This is something they added to where you have to make molds to make the bricks. It is part of the brick recipe now. In this category, like I said, the next two would be glass and pottery, but we got several steps to do before we get to there. Oil drilling is quite a ways off. And then, of course, maybe smelting, but that, again, comes after the other two. Other three, I should say. Hunting and butchery is going to help us with our food because it's going to give us it's going to give us meat stores. Yeah, excuse me. And then basic engineering is going to give us power and things to help us with our mining and masonry. So as you can see, this is why with multiple people, you have people branching off into different categories, picking an entire tree to go down. Some servers, they do make it to where you cannot. I did play on one that they used like a super skill tree. So if you decided to take mining, you could not take smelting because they did not want you mining the stuff and then instantly giving it to yourself to turn into metal. Could not. If it went into the next stage of that material, you could not do it. They would not allow it. So you had to diversify in what you did, but we just took masonry. Did I make the mason table or not? I do not remember. No, that's the tailoring one. Because I made that with carpentry. Carpentry is now level 2, so what we want off of this one, where's that wooden latrine? Right there. And we need 20 boards. So come back up to the top, find the 20 boards. Take those, move them in front of the latrine. No. Yeah, we do have all the work in there. Alright, so that's all done. We come over here to this table, and like I said, I don't think we have... I don't think we made the mason's table. I'm not seeing it. And it's not on us. So no, we did not make it. So we need to make a masonry table. Oh. And with hunting, we get to fishery. So this is, like I said, this leads to making fish traps. Because at the fishery, you can make the fish traps, make the fish rack. You clean the fish, shuck clams, clean the urchins. So there's plenty of ways to eventually get fish. The fish traps are just a passive ability. So let's take the mason's table. Now we got this. Grindstone is basically a newer newer repair bench except for iron tools. So all the repair bench is for all your basic tools that you start with. Grindstone is for your iron tools, and then there's another one further on for the steel tools. So if we're going to we're going to need to make mortar. Of course, we could have been doing mortar this whole time. I just never did because it is over here on the campfire down here as charred mortar. So if we're going to do this, we got it here. What we do not want is to pull from here because we do not want to use the plant fibers. All we want to do is burn up our wood pulp. So now if we come back here again, wood pulp is $13.25, and if we look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 1,000, 1,200, $13.20. So yes, it is not including the plant fiber, which it would. So we have $13.25. That would be 40 for each stack of 200. So we have 40, 80, 200, 240, 270. 270? Nope, a little bit too much. Okay. What is that? 262? 264. There we go. Let's add all our food there. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. And we'll go one more to finish it off. Now we will get that out of here. If we decide to make more food, we can always shove these to the back. Make our food first, which we probably ought to do. We have the campfires here, so let's make 20. And no, not cancel. Move those up there, and we had charred mushrooms. We'll make 20 of these. And we'll move those in front of the mortar. And we had the commas bulbs. 20. There we go. So now our next batch of food will be being made before it goes back to burning the wood pulp. Just to be on the safe side, we have an hour and 33 minutes worth of burning, and our recipes in total is an hour and 20. So we have enough wood in there for fuel. So we're all set there. Let that go back. And what we want to do on this... So actually, let's go back over to the research table and see about the butcher book. Butchery. This is, oh yeah, the basic culinary pages. 3. And I kind of want to get hunting because then we can start make a couple fish traps and get some fish or something else. I don't want to go hunting animals until I have butchery because I don't want to deal with or there's no way to do the corpses the way I want to. And besides, that's the dried meat, not cooked meat like it used to be. And I don't have any fat either to make the fried foods, even though we'd only need 9. We'd have to get corpses and cook them, and it'd have to be either medium animals or bisons. That would get us 2. And the medium animals would get us 1. The medium animals are deers, bighorns, elks, and the mountain goats, which are all nearby. But without hunting, we're not going to kill them all that well. We're just going to burn arrows. So instead of looking at butchery, what is engineering? Engineering is three advanced dendrology, 3 advanced geology, and 5 basic research. This is why it did not matter that we made all these extra pages here, because you're going to need generic pages of a tier in order to do some books, which is what this is. This is just generic basic pages. Now the other option we can do here is do some more dendrology pages and start making some level 1 upgrades. What that would be is 10% off of the research cost and 10% off the time. So instead of costing us 20 logs to make 20 logs plus what it would take to make 20 dowels or 10 dowels, which is a little bit more than 1. So instead of needing 21 plus wood to make 10 logs, we'd only need 90% of that. So once you start using these, the amount you order on a table for things like that is going to be in multiples. On that one, you're doing multiples of 10. On a tier 2, it is 25%, so you're doing multiples of 4. When you go to tier 3, it is multiples of 5, because it's 40%. 5 times 40 is 200. So you're going to have to make at least 5 to have it be even materials. And then you go to level 4, which is 45, which becomes a 20. Yeah, it really starts to suck when you go to that. I always went level 1, and then once I knew people could make level 3, I jumped straight to level 3. Because level 3 at 40% is basically a free recipe every time you do 2. So you're making 2, getting 1 free. Because this is 90%, this is 60%. So you're thinking 30%, 30%, boom, there's your 60% for your third one. For the same material costs. So what we want to do, we're going to look at getting hunting next. So we just need to get to our 7th star. So it is time to start figuring things out. Where we want to go from here. I really want to start doing our masonry. And if it is, we're going to have to do, we're going to want to get sand. And the only way to get sand right now is to come out here to the desert and dig down. But we don't want to disturb the surface because we don't want to have... Come on. I've been having trouble targeting of late. I don't know why I've been having trouble targeting plants like today. So what we want to do, we're going to need to make our entrance here out of the adobe. Talked about doing that. Where did we want to put this? Oh, we do have a hole still over here. I forgot. And while we're thinking about it, I know I just went the long way. Quiet. We're going to bring our wagon that we have and we're going to drop it down here. I don't know why that's not doing what I want it to do. Okay, so... go get some food. Now, what we want to do... There's our latrine. Take our latrine. And boom, we now have a third wedge. Now we have a bathroom of 3.9. 3 for the latrine, and then 0.9 capped for the table and bench. So, actually... Where are the statues that I want? Level 2. That's what I thought. So we have to get to level 2 so we can make the owls and the otters. Anything else inside the house takes up way too much. These are a 2 by 1 by 2. That's 2 tiles long by 1 tile wide by 2 tiles high. Takes up way too much room. Just like the bison statue is 4 tiles long, 2 tiles wide, 3 tiles high. Way too much room taken up for its value. These are 1 by 1 by 1s, so are the owls. They are easy enough to, not really take up much space whatsoever. And they're easy enough to stash in a room and get your 2 value out of on both of them. Those used to be 1.5, so they changed the value. So what we need is to be able to get to level 2 masonry. What is that? 5 stones? How much XP is that gonna be? 57 per. So basically it's a 1 times recipe. So if 57 and we need 625 experience, we basically need to do 11 millstones. So if we queue up 11, I mean, we could do other stuff, but I don't really want to. I just want to set something, get my XP, and then be done with it. So that should get us level 2 masonry, which will get us to our statues. So while that's happening, let's go eat some more food. Come back out here. Alright, come on. Stop with the glitching. Had nothing but glitching all day long. And I think it's the game, not me. Come on. Trying to decide where. Alright, let's get our adobe. Change that. Where's our stairs? Do that, pick that up. So, what we want to do, let's put those back in there, grab our dirt, put it back here. And there's our masonry. So let's put this back in here. Grab this one. Do we want to do that? We probably do. Let's go ahead and dig that one back up. Dig that one back up. Pull those up. Do we want to go that low? Actually, yeah, we do. So we do want to put those back. So this one, I want a floor here. And then we want this again. Damn, really? Might actually want to take that lower. This is something I gotta think about how I want to build it. So we're just gonna leave that alone for now. Thing is, we want to drop it down. So we might actually, we do, but we don't. Like I said, I gotta figure out how I want to do that. But now that we got our masonry aspect, let's go ahead and do our statues like we said. We want to do 2 owls. Masonry 4. Masonry 3. Alright. So we need to do more before we get to that. Like I said, if we decided to do mortar, the problem is with this recipe, it is a, what is that, 30% ratio? No, XP is 50% XP. Because it's an item that is made so damn much, there's no reason why you're not going to get a whole bunch per craft. So we do have we haven't really been making our mortar yet. Yeah, we have a little bit, not a lot. We're making the food, so we can't even do mortared stone yet. Oh, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. You know what? Let's go over here and look. We might be able to find some sand towards the surface, and we don't have to really dig. Or we could possibly take that sandstone right there and work our way in, which is probably what we're going to do. Yeah, we're not seeing anything right away where sand is out here. It's all sandstone. So either start digging here and work our way underneath this, or from this side probably right here. And right there's some sand. So, for what we're going to do, where do we put our small stockpile? There it is. Small stockpile, the tiny one from your campsite, this is where it comes in handy. We don't really have a way to get let's go ahead and drop this down, drop this down, drop this down. You'll see what I mean by once we get inside this area to get sand. See, I don't mind terraforming in order to make something level, but I don't like having to tear the dirt out and then put it back, because it's a pain in the keister. Pain in the rear. Alright, so let's go this way and see if we can find a spot that's going to make it easy. So we need a 2 by 2 by 3 space. And you see what I mean about being like a tile or two below the surface for sand. And yes, I do know I am at about 50 minutes already. If I could find a spot to put this small stockpile, I'd be able to do something better. Alright, that should be enough sand for now. So we're just gonna get something started. It's not, this is down here. So one thing we can do is just do this and go yes, and then we touch this. We can bring it all to here. And then we take that sand and bring it over to here. Pick that back up, go back inside, over to the mortar table, and we can actually go here and do 29. It won't be a lot of XP, but it is XP. We're just trying to work our way through stuff. Trying to think of what's next. What's our storage look like? 12 wood. Alright, so we do need to go ahead and do 10 of these again. And we will do 80 of these. And what we're looking at next would be we got a butcher table already up. What we need is, what do we need for the fishery? Fishery is going to need 8 boards. Past that, got anything else in here that we want? Not right now. We'll go over here. Blacksmith we don't need. Farmers we don't need. Scritch we don't need. I mean, we could make it. It's another login XP. I mean, just as long as we have it made, I mean, we could do that. We'll need it before basic engineering for, or around the same time as basic engineering. So that we can get cloth for windmills. And what this does is, this is for doing like the basic backpack, cotton lint, the flax fiber, Cotton used to be done on the farmer's table. Flax is the new way of doing it. Basically, consider the flax fiber as. Remember if you remember when you used to get plant fibers and then you'd make linen. It didn't go straight to linen cloth. It went to was it woolen yarn or something like that? There was another step in between, and you used one on the tailoring table and did the plant fibers to whatever it was that you turned into linen cloth. So that's basically that new version. Oh, so you could take palm logs, get wood pulp, and hearts of palm. Okay. And the hearts of palm could go to... I thought there was something else. I forget what I was looking at. Yeah. That's not a worry. We'd have to go chopping palm trees, and I'm not in the mood to do that. But, alright, I'll tell you what. We'll just go ahead and make, say, 40 boards. Now, with all of that we've got queued up, probably going to be able to... See, that's 8, that's 20. Fletching is the new arrow station. $20 arrows for 10 wood versus what it was over here. 4 for 2. So it's basically the same recipe. 20 for 10. Multiply this by 5, it's 20 for 10. So it's the same thing, you're just not doing it, you're doing it in one lump sum on the fletching table. It also gets you the bows. Oh, what do I want to do? What do I do? You got the loom, but I don't remember if we have... We need the linen yarn, which is the flax. The flax fiber. But in order to make the loom, need a wooden gear, which is not a problem. We could easily make that. You get the pottery table, which, like I said, clay molds, ceramic molds, and then you got the wet brick. And we throw into the kiln, and you do not get the molds back, I don't think, or maybe you do, but or maybe it's a chance. I don't remember. But I need to stop this episode. So now that we started to do some stuff over here, we finished that. We're up to 92 because if we just did all that sand. Did 29, so that was 87 of that. So we could go ahead and how many? So in order to make geology advanced, we need 20 mortared stone per. And for this one, we need that for basic engineering. Yeah, basic engineering, and we need 3. So we need to make 60. So if we go 60, that'll get us going on masonry. And we could actually go over here and also queue up 3 here and get that going. So once those blocks come in, they automatically go into research. Basic engineering, we need 3 advanced dendrology. So we're making, we'll have enough there, so go ahead and make 3 of these as well. And then we should be able to do this book. So we're working on that. Alright, anything else? No, I think we're going to stop it right here because I am just over an hour on this session. And I'm trying to keep it between 45 and an hour, and I'm not doing very well of late. But we've got everything queued up. It should be enough to get a star 7 shortly into the next stream, where we can get hunting and then go from there. Our wood pulp here, what we got? 40 minutes. We got enough to do that. Alright, so we don't need to throw any more wood there. So that'll probably get us tier 3 on campfire cooking. Our carpentry, we'll still be at 2. Our lumber or logging might get close to 6, but we won't know. Masonry should get to 3, but with what's queued up. And then we can start making a couple statues. So I think we're in a good spot right now, base-wise, for being 8 episodes in. Like I said, next one, as soon as we get hunting, we'll go on. We'll get into the hunting aspect with both fishing and the hunting. That will be the next episode, as soon as we get our star, which should only be a little while longer, because we only need 78. So what is that? We're getting basically a point per at 2%. Would be just over 1 XP for each craft. See, we're already up to 432. So we will have 7 relatively quick into the next episode. So I will see everyone in episode 9, where we start with the hunting skill. Once we get our start, which shouldn't take very long. I will see everyone then. Enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you happen to be. Good night.